I love security because I think it's one of the area of software that is never going away.
Right.
No matter what I was known for in the family was that I was always doing what people don't want me to do. That's something everybody knows me for. My turning point was really early because
Okay.
I was able to go to early almost free
Right.
and
Nice.
made.
Welcome everybody. This is another episode of Alpha Delta. I'm your host Joe Karaoke, and today I'm joined by a good friend. Someone who I went to high school with. His name is Yawo Alphonse, and Alphonse, I know you from high school, but for the audience, can you just introduce yourself, who you are, where you're from, what you do, and where did you go to school?
Okay. Thank you, Joe. It's been a long time. Talk
Yeah, for
from
sure.
being homemade. It was a lot of fun in high school. So yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I'm Yawo Alphone Siatitse. I am from Togo. I After LA, I went to school at the University of Rochester in upstate New York and studied computer science. Right after that, I joined Microsoft as a software engineer in the security division. Um, and right around that, the same time I started working, also I also started a part-time master degrees for Master of Science in Cybersecurity at the University of John Hopkins. So yeah, those have been my main occupation for the past 2 years so far.
Nice, nice,
Yeah.
nice. Very cool, man. Very cool. So yeah, the first question I have for you is, what are you passionate about and why?
Okay. I think I have a wide range of passions, professionally and also fun wise. Professionally, I'm very passionate about security topics, and I mean you can see from what I'm studying right now in grad
Yeah,
school. Uh,
definitely.
I love security because I think it's one of the area of software that is never going away.
Right.
No matter how advanced things get, security is always central
So
because
important, yeah.
once we can secure the system, then the bad guys will always jump in and they will always exist because
Hmm.
that's how the world is. So
That's true.
I like to help. One of my motivation there is being able to help to secure a system for users because everything is gonna go digital whether we like it or not. Um, and yeah, and security is ever evolving. Every day, hackers are coming out with new method of attack. So you are always constantly learning and growing with them, or else they will leave you behind. They will, yeah. And apart from that, fun wise, my passion relies a lot in music related stuff. I am not a musician, but I love dancing and DJ. So I people that follow me on social media, they might think
Yeah.
I'm a full-time dancer.
I know
So yeah,
yeah. Social media is very surprising because you're a
yeah,
cybersecurity software engineer, and but like when you're not working, you're DJing. I see you doing dance performances and everything, which I think that's pretty
yeah,
cool.
yeah,
It's yeah,
yeah.
it's very really cool. All right, so taking a step back, I want you to just like tell us a bit about your childhood. What was Alphonse like growing up? What did you spend a lot of your time doing? And how did you progress throughout the years through high school? And just walk us through what that experience was like for you.
I see. Yeah, well, I my high school was my childhood was probably not that different from everybody else. But what I was known for in the family was that I was always doing what people don't want me to do. That's something everybody knows me for. I
Right,
love
right.
soccer. I love
Uh-huh.
most of my childhood was spent playing soccer. Actually,
Right.
I love soccer and my mom doesn't like it. So, you know,
Yeah, yeah,
it became
yeah.
a conflict between me and my mom. So, but I always
Right,
play soccer, even though she doesn't like it. And
right.
uh, I used to think she was against me and all of this when I was, when you're a kid, you want to do something your parents don't like it. But the more I grew up, I understood that, hey, in fact, she was trying to protect me. She knew she's an adult. She knows what is good for me, how she wants her kid to succeed. But for me, I just wanted to have fun. I started understanding that, oh, actually, sports back home was not a reliable thing. You would say, I want to be good. I want to be a professional sports player. Like, yes, that was a dream of mine to play soccer. But my mom, being an adult, knows the realities of it, the probability of making it or not making it. And so I understood it. Even though I continue playing soccer, I knew that my focus need to be on academics.
Right.
Because with academics, I could if I'm doing well there and I'm able to manage getting scholarship and stuff, I will be able to follow my other passions. And coming from a low income family, like I needed to do well in school so that I can get free tuition wherever I go or else. That will be the end of me in terms of academics. So my turning point was really early because I was able to go to LA almost free and made a lot of friends. And I think LA was a turning point in my life.
Yeah, no, that's very cool. I think you definitely touched on like some really important things, just the value of education and, the importance of working hard, especially when you're studying and everything like that. And then, just like you said, like just how it can literally change your life, like ALA
definitely
completely changed your life. You growing up in Togo, I'm not sure if like when you were younger, you ever imagined you would like end up in the US, like that's
I know.
and that's just because of like you working hard and studying, going to ALA, working hard there, working hard in Rochester. So it's like, and just that continuous process, and like that's how you got to where you are today. So actually, regarding that specifically, I want you just walk us through how you got to where you are today and talk a little bit just about your career path. What are some of the things you've done, some of the things you've accomplished. Just take us through that whole journey.
Okay. Yeah, I think I will start it from how I even got to LA and from there until now. I think going to LA was actually a very interesting journey because I heard about this program through one of my high school teacher. And before me, there was one other LA student that was Togolese, and he went to the same school. So the same teacher advised him. And I had the chance to either decide to go to South Africa or go to Morocco on government scholarship because fortunately I was one of the top students also in Togo at the national exam. But then I wanted to learn English because I didn't know English back then. French, we speak French. So I was keen on South Africa instead. So I applied to LA back then. From there, I never used Yahoo email again because I applied to LA, sent my application. I was so excited, waiting for replies. And then 2 weeks later, 2 weeks after the deadline, I went to check if I got any reply. Guess what I see? I see that the email failed. It didn't go
through. Really?
And
What?
And
what?
Right there, I was like, I almost cried. So I was like, you know what? I don't lose anything. I'm going to reapply, even though it's 2 weeks after the deadline. So I created the Gmail account right there, and then put the application in, and then send an email. I was like, hey, sorry, I sent the email from there saying, hey, I sent it at this date, but it failed, and sorry for being late and all of this. Yeah, I was like, yeah, these
Wow.
people is they are very competitive, and I'm late,
Yeah.
so
And
there's
you're
no
late.
way
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
getting in because like a
Wow.
thousand of people trying to go there.
To go, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow,
So
that's
yeah,
really interesting. Yeah, I never
yeah,
that's yeah, because I'm just thinking now, like, if you didn't check 2 weeks later and you just thought
Mhm.
that you just waited for the response, you wouldn't have had the
It's
exposure.
gone.
Yeah, just like
Yeah,
that. Like,
yeah,
wow. Wow,
yeah.
that's interesting.
So, but yeah, I from there I learned that sometimes you're just going to try, and if you have no reason, you don't need the reason to do the thing. If you also don't have any reason not to do it, you can do it also. Because
Yeah,
I was like, I don't lose anything if they reject me because I'm late,
that's
but
true.
I must apply. So I applied, and we were five finalists from Togo, I believe, that year, and two of us got selected. So I from like I also like speechless after it happened. And
Yeah,
I
yeah,
always say that some stuff is God also. I am a
yeah.
firm believer in God.
Hmm.
So I always say it's not a random luck, right? It's God
Yeah,
also
yeah.
working. If you're meant to be there, you will be there.
You be there, right?
Just do your part and let
Hmm.
the rest be on God. So yeah, and from LA, I started applying to college. I couldn't do well in SAT because of my English and all of this.
Yeah,
So it was
yeah,
rough. Um,
yeah.
one of so I did my first SAT. It was not good, and they asked me to redo so that I could be able to apply to some of the top school and I was like, no, I don't want to do SAT again. So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was planning. I tried to go to more colleges that do not require it. So I ended up getting to Trinity College in Hartford and
uh,
University of Rochester. And
right.
I I was keen to go to University of Rochester because of the gene of admission, Gene Burdick. He came to LA. He gave
Okay,
a speech, and like
right.
I really like his project and all of this. So
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
how I end up at Rochester. Um,
Rochester, yeah.
a lot of friends from LA and meet new friends.
Right,
Um, it was quite an interesting journey because in 1 year I've learned different things about myself.
right.
I started studying electrical and computer engineering for first year, and then I
Okay,
learned how to code. Then
right.
I spoke to other LA students that were ahead of me, and they were like, "Yeah." I'm like, I want to get into computer science, but I don't think I'll be good because I don't have a background. Then
Hmm.
it's one of my them Samuel Opoku
Yes, Abuku.
is like, "No, you're good in maths. You'll be good." So here a shot. So I went to switch my major right away in that second year,
In the
and
second year, right?
ever since I never
Hmm.
regret my choices to enter that space. So
That's
yeah,
basically.
I'm grateful for Samuel because
Samuel,
uh,
shout out to Samuel Abuku
yeah,
watching this.
yeah,
For
yeah,
sure,
yeah,
for sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And well, I was in my first year, first 2 years in undergrad. I was always looking for opportunities, talking to people. And
Right.
back then, there wasn't really that many people from our community there at Rochester getting like internship at these banks and techs. Then I found this program called SEO, Student Educational Opportunity, and
Okay.
I didn't even know what it was about, but I applied anyway. And
Yeah. Yeah.
almost like 10 months later, they got back to me saying, "Oh, interview. You are about to get into the program." I said, "Oh, I even forgot that I applied to this."
Yeah.
Interviewed, and then they helped me started applying for financial services. And hence my sophomore year, I end up interning at Morgan Stanley,
Oh,
uh,
nice.
so, technology analyst. And
Right.
from there, I got my foot into the industry. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I have to aim bigger, right? If I'm in tech,
Yeah.
I want to go to actual tech company.
Right.
Um, Although the bank experience was good, I wanted to try tech company, and I end up getting couple offers with Twitter and Microsoft, but I end up going to
Nice.
Microsoft,
To
and
Microsoft.
which yeah, which made me come back now. So I'm very grateful for the journey, for the
Right.
small changes that happened along the way, because without those, I probably would not even be computer science guy now. Maybe I would be ECA guy
Right.
now. Yeah.
Right. Interesting. No, that's really cool. And I know, like my next question actually relates to something you touched about. You know, you mentioned how the
Mhm.
conversation you had with Samuel was very important. It basically changed your whole direction in terms of your career path.
Mhm.
So you know, reflecting
Mhm.
on that and all the other moments that you've had, um, what can you say has been like the one pivotal moment that
Mhm.
has shaped your career? And the follow-up question to that is, what has been your biggest achievement in your career so far?
I see. Good. First one is easier. Second one is hard. First one is, I think, career-wise, there were two pivotal moments.
Uh-huh.
One is how I get into computer science in the first place, and
Right,
two, how I started being interested in security, particularly in computer science.
right, right,
Um, the first pivotal was when I was doing electrical and computer engineering. We have a one class that is require us to learn coding. I was
okay,
learning C and C++.
right,
So I was
right,
like, I always thought this was a thing like very hard, and because I don't have a background, I didn't want to get into it, because I'm one person. I don't like to be in the mass, right? When I'm doing something, I will put my effort in it, trying to like to get a decent skill set in it,
right.
or get good. I don't want to be just average, right? That's
Yeah,
one thing about me.
it's
So
a good mindset. Yeah,
I
it's a
didn't
very good
want to get
mindset.
into it because I don't think it was my thing. So
Right,
doing that class, that was part of ECE, allowed me to actually explore something new without having to completely drop something that I knew that at least I could do. And
right.
I was like, whoa, this is making a lot of sense in my head. Like,
Yeah,
and then that's when I spoke to that guy, because he was doing already computer science at Cornell. We spoke
right.
about it.
Hmm.
And then I was like, yeah, actually, I had the intuition that I want to do it, but talking to someone that is already doing it, that I knew, that also
Yeah,
knows me,
yeah,
helped me to decide that, hey, I mean, I'm going to do computer science. But the
right.
way I transitioned to computer science, I had a safe backup in case it doesn't work. I could always come back to
Okay.
electrical computer engineering, because I was taking classes that would be intercepted, that I could
Right,
reuse for the other major, so I don't get delayed.
right. True.
Yeah, and for when it comes to how I got into security, I think I was more through doing random competition online for ethical
Okay.
hacking, where
Interesting.
I get to do like pen testing on system, fake system,
Right.
of course.
Yeah.
And
It can be a real system.
I was very, yeah, I was
Uh,
very fascinated, because I'm always, my brain, the way my brain works is, I see something, even in dance or in anything in life, when I see
yeah.
someone doing something that I like, I always like to reverse engineer the stuff. How did they
Right.
do this? And then
Right.
so that I
Right.
can apply it and do it in a different way for myself. So
Right.
that's something that got me into security. And security is a lot about that. Look at what someone is doing, how they are acting, and try to think about how they build it. Either so that you can be able to stop how what they are doing or stuff like that. So I think I really, that's how I got into security in the
Into
end.
security.
Not mainly through academics, but through like fun competitions online.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah.
And is this like,
Mhm.
so through these competitions, that's what really helped your decision to pursue it as a career path, right?
Yes. And And I had my internship at Microsoft was in the security teams, where the team that does.
Yeah, so Alphonse, you're basically telling us about, one of the other pivotal moments in your life, and you're going to tell us a bit more about what your biggest achievement in your career has been so far.
Yeah. This is always a hard question, but I will say, when I first start, it was I got moved around to another team. The manager that I came under, after 1 month, I left to go to another team, and I was working with like two principals, people that had more than 20 years of experience, and it was me and them. So it was tough.
No, yeah, that must have been quite tough. Yeah. I can
Yeah,
imagine.
because not because of them, but because I don't know how someone at my level can perform, has to perform. I'm looking at them like, damn, they're doing all of this and I can't do what they are doing. So I feel like I was not doing well. But then I think one of the things that I'm proud of is that I was able to wrap up very fast and then know the products from end to end. Until now, apart from my manager, I'm the only person in the team that was there since the beginning. So being able to know the product from end to end, and people can come ask me questions about things that probably some people don't even know about anymore, because we don't talk about it much, we don't use it. And knowing that, I can actually explain them or point them in the right direction. I think that was the thing I would say my biggest achievement. It was a rough start, but yeah, I got to know the product end to end. I think it was very important. To own something or know something in depth like that, especially in these big companies, because it can get overwhelming. The product is very wide, and you might tend to focus on only what you work on. But if you're able to know the end-to-end pipeline, you become more valuable, and you're able to contribute more or help in decision making.
Yeah, that's I think that's really important. Just like you said, it's a key skill to be able to truly understand the company you work for, the product or services that you're providing, and that helps you figure out how best you can add value to the organization. Yeah, that's cool. So my next question is, what advice would you give someone who is trying to achieve the same things that you have done?
Good question. I think one, make sure as soon as you join any team or in any work, you know who knows what. And I always, whenever I join a new team, I will like when I talk to my manager, of course, or my mentors, I'll have a take note, ask question about who knows what I need. Because most of the time it's not gonna be one person. So I take down the names and try to set up meetings with them with questions, and like obviously it's hard to come up with question at the beginning, but as you start working, you have more questions. And but the only way you are gonna be able to know the system end to end is if you go and ask questions, because everybody has to do their work and they are trying to help you as a newcomer. So you have to make it easier for them to help you as well. By not going, like once you have one question, you go and ask the person. Next time you get another question, you're going to ask him. That's going to be overwhelming for him as well. So what I personally do is, if I know that you are the person that know a lot of stuff that I need to know, instead of coming to you every single time I have a question, I will actually try to get like 3-4 questions before I come. And then, so I take your time, and then you explain me as much as possible in that time frame I book with you, and then I make sure I record the session
Oh,
or I take
nice.
note down so that I don't come back and ask you the same question because it's annoying
Yeah.
because I've been on the other end also, so I cannot see what can be annoying to someone while they are trying to help you.
Right. True.
But if you make yourself, is this even a word? Helpful.
It's
But
a easy.
now I created
No,
one.
but easy to help. Easy to help. That's better way.
Yeah.
Easy to help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you need to know people don't have time and make it easy for them.
Yeah.
Take notes whenever you go, ask questions, take notes or record the session. If you think it's gonna be harder to focus on what he's saying and also taking notes, record and take notes afterwards. That is and don't be afraid to be stupid. It's better to sound stupid at the beginning than
Yeah.
sound stupid 1 year later after I
Right.
started
After
without
started.
knowing the basic stuff. So yeah, I think that asking questions and making sure to take notes is very
Yeah.
important.
Yeah. I think what I'm getting from you is that number one, take ownership of your position, of your role. Go ask questions, actively seek knowledge, try to get as much help as you can. And the second thing I'm getting from you is I just had it in my mind.
Make it easier for people
Yes.
to help you.
Making it easy to have
Yeah.
people to help. I got it now. It's having a beginner's mindset. It's being able to approach things in a way that you're willing to learn. You're willing to, as you said, look stupid or not seem as smart as you think you are, so that you can learn as much as possible.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's very important.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so looking into the future now, where are you heading to, and what are some of the things you're hoping to accomplish in the next couple of years?
I see. I think as I look forward to finish my master's, I will see myself more as a security software engineer instead of just software engineer. Yes, security is really it's something that I want to pursue in the longer term. But I'm glad that I started first as a software engineer because I will need those skills when I in the type of security I want to do. Because I'm not trying to be a security analyst. I want to be a security engineer to build secure system instead of analyzing stuff. And I'm more on the engineering side of things. So that's my goal. And my master's is taking long, slow but surely, because I only take 2 classes every year, so it's gonna take me 5 years.
Wow,
but
interesting.
I am halfway through now. So
okay, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So you're basically doing it part-time.
Yes, because as an international student, when you're on OPT, there are a lot of complication around whether you can do school. And I couldn't have done this master's if it was not online. Because if it's online, it's like you could do it from being everywhere, so it does not require you a visa to do it.
True.
That's the only way I can do this. Because if it was something that required me a visa, then it will cancel my work authorization.
So
it's tough out here.
it's complicated. I know. Battled with that system as well. It is quite complicated, to be honest. Cool. So the next set of questions I have for you are a bit more personal. And the first question I have is, do you practice self-improvement?
Oh yes, a lot. Without that, I probably won't be here today. So I think, I as career-wise, professional, personal development-wise, I always do that. I mean, I'm not perfect at it, but I I tend to do that.
Right.
Work, I ask my seniors, oh, what do you think I could do better? What do you think I'm doing right now that I should keep doing? And especially my manager, I think that's good with my manager because I was able to build a good relationship with him. So he'll tell
Right.
me things straight.
Yeah.
Ask him, oh, uh, on this project that I did, what do you think I could have done better? Either communication or design or documentation or stuff like that. I'll ask him, he'll tell me, and then I was like, okay, good. And I mean, if they tell you that, it's because they love you, right? So you have to
Yeah.
make sure you improve in that area so they know you listen to feedback. Or
Right.
else next time they're not gonna be honest with you again. Because
Right.
yeah, we think it's hard to ask for feedback from people, but it's actually harder to give feedback because you don't know how the person might take it.
True.
Um, yeah, and personal development wise, I have very good friends that I trust. I will ask them for feedback or how I handle things and how I behave towards other people. And
Right.
yeah. Sometimes when I get into problem or argument with people, also I will think about, hey, was it me or was it them or was it
Right.
both of us? Or trying
Mm-hmm.
to see, hey, how can I avoid this? Because I don't like too much problems, so I try
Yeah.
to always stay out of that. But it's tough. It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. For sure. No, that's interesting. It's very interesting. So my next question is, what is one area of your life you feel you could improve on?
There's a lot of ideas why right. I think one is communications. I tend to be more the person that will do things people will see than actually talk about myself. One-on-one, I could talk to people for 24 hours straight, no stop.
Right.
So
Right.
once I get into groups, I tend to be more the quiet person that listens to everybody
Right.
because that's my nature.
Yeah.
Um, I think I have to work a lot on public speaking.
Right.
Uh, yeah, getting there a little bit, but it's not where I want it to be. And
Yeah.
I think also, what do you call it? Emotional life also is very important
Right.
to balance out everything. And I think, yeah, sometimes I do well, sometimes I don't do well there. So I need to focus on that area of my
Right.
life as
Of your
well.
life.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. That's interesting. I mean, there's a lot of things. Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
everybody has things they need to improve on for sure. Because we're
Yeah,
always, yeah,
definitely.
because we're always growing, we're always trying to improve and just trying to get better over the years. It's important. That's how you
Yeah,
grow.
definitely. Yeah.
So yeah. So my next question is, what does being a man mean to you?
Hmm. This question, I think the question is what being a man means to me, right?
Yeah, that's the question.
Yeah. Um, I, I mean, my definition would be biased because it's probably would be more related to something that I wish I had growing up or seeing what was not around me when I was growing up, and then I wanted to be that person in the
Right,
future, right?
right.
It's more like someone that can hold his ground and being
Mm,
able to set the directions
right,
and being a leader, right? And people often might think, oh, leader is being able to direct people, but I think in my style is that a leader is someone that have the ground and doing something so people can be inspired to follow you instead of you directing people to do something. So
right,
my approach in there is that I do my thing, make sure I take care of it. I do it well so that other people can see and inspire themselves or and choose to follow what I'm doing. Because if like even family wise, let's say you are the parent and you don't do things that inspire your kid, they wouldn't want to follow you. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
so like that's something, the concept that I always remind myself. For me, yes, I see myself as the person that would set standards, but not in a literal way to tell people to do things, but set standard for myself and hold myself up to it so that other people can see and want to do what I'm doing and follow what I'm doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense. I think what I'm hearing from you is, leadership, being a good role model to people. I'm hearing,
Exactly.
being able to set standards, take responsibility for things, which I think are
Yeah.
all they're very important characteristics when it comes to trying to define, what it means to be a man, basically. Yeah, I find that very, very interesting. And I resonate with a lot of things you said as well. So, this being said, how do you navigate life as said man?
For me, it's, as I say, it's quite easy, right? I
Okay.
try to work on myself daily, whether emotionally or intellectually or any financial stability.
Right.
We, I have to do that, right?
Yeah.
Because the world, what people expect from you as a man, change from culture to culture. But I always have to also remind myself that, hey, although I live in the US, at the end of the day, I'm a Togolese. I am an
Yeah.
Ewe man.
That's
And
true.
there are expectations from me,
Mm-hmm.
like taking care of my family, that I cannot bypass. That's not going to happen, right?
Right.
And so I have to know that whatever I plan today is not just affecting me, but it's affecting me, my current family, which include my parents, my siblings, my uncles, the uncles,
Yeah. Yeah.
and my future family, which
Right.
could include my wife and my kids, right?
Right.
So it's a whole generation I
Right.
have to
Right.
think about, which can tend to be overwhelming. But for me, I take it easy. I think
Yeah.
if I'm able to stay composed and gain resilience, empathy, and all of this by myself, working on myself, I think it will open the door for the rest of it. Because
Right.
I think that like for us to be stable will help other people around us. Yeah,
That's true.
you can make them, you can try to help them, but if you don't help yourself first, it's not.
Yeah.
You can only go so far. Yeah.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, definitely. I agree. Like you have to start with
Yeah.
yourself first before you can help
Mm-hmm.
other people.
Yeah. So
Definitely.
right now it's mainly working on myself, either financially, emotionally, or like everything that I think
Right.
I could improve on. I'm working on it.
You work on it. Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's really good. That's really good. Yeah. So I mean, Alphonse, we're coming to the end of the interview. Do
Mm-hmm.
you have any questions for me?
Yeah. I mean, I think you're one of hell of inspiration when it comes to dedications and stuff. Like since early, you always were very into like fitness, and I'm
Right.
glad to see that you have not stopped. You
Right.
just kept hitting higher bars and stuff, and I wanted to know that we all see you, even if we don't react. We see
Right.
you as an
Yeah.
inspiration, and
Right.
I
Right.
like
Appreciate it.
how do you come to like balance all of this? Make like I'm sure it's probably fitness is one of your goals, right? How do you
Yeah.
balance that with all the things that you're picking up now that you haven't started podcast? You have your work. Like how
Yeah.
do you?
Yeah. How do I?
Yeah.
No, it's a really good question, and it's a question that I always get a lot since university days, even till now. With there's fitness, and then there's a social life, and there's the businesses, and there are all these different things that are priorities to me. And so I actually did a it's called Not Gonna Lie. It's basically an app that lets you receive anonymous questions. And somebody asked me that question. It's like, how do you do all these things at the same time, right? So I put that on my Instagram, and I basically said that, for me, I think what's really important is just prioritizing and scheduling things. So I'm sure you're familiar with Google Calendar, right? I have a Google Calendar that has all my engagements and all my commitments. So if you look at it, you can basically tell like who Joe is based on the calendar. So it has every single thing timed very, very well. And I just use that to run my life, right? The other thing is that I think over the years, I've learned to just raise my standards as an individual. Coming up, I basically said that, you need to come up with like a list of non-negotiables, things that are, you would not compromise on, regardless of whatever is going on, right? So for you, maybe that could be like, your non-negotiable could be your career, right? You'll always prioritize your career. Cybersecurity, that's something you're passionate about, and that is something that you won't do anything or compromise in any area when it comes to that specifically. So likewise for me, fitness is one of those non-negotiables, right? It's one of those things where, like I'll always prioritize it, I'll always make time for it. And that's just the standard at which I want to be operating at.
I see.
Yeah, so that's essentially I think the two key things that has really helped me make sure, like, have a good balance and make sure I'm able to accomplish all the things I want to be able to accomplish. It's, the mindset, the standards that you want to be existing according by and wanting to live your life by, and then just having that practical piece of scheduling and prioritizing all these commitments accordingly. I hope that answered your question. I hope that helped.
No, yeah, you did. I guess come to prioritizing for sure. Because for me, for example, also people ask me, how do you find time to do work and school, and then you always seem to be dancing everywhere? Right?
Yeah,
like,
you too.
For me,
too.
I don't skip dance because dance is like, people might think it's too much work, but dance is what actually helped me to do more work, because once I go dance, I am in a state that when I come to work, I don't feel like I'm doing too much work or I'm overworking myself, because even at work, sometimes I'm more efficient because knowing that, hey, I need to finish this work by 6 p.m. because 8 p.m. I have to be at dance practice. So there's no slagging, saying, let me take some break. No. Do the work now, and then I'm going to go dance later. So, I think prioritizing is a big part of it. Yeah, thank you for sharing.
Yeah, definitely. It's a big priority. I mean, it's a big part of it, actually. And it's important. It's important because you can't, like, it's difficult to do everything, like, at the same time.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So you have to prioritize as to what's important to you, and, what are some of the things you want to accomplish. Yeah. So, coming to the final remarks of this interview, is there anything that you want to promote on this episode? And, where can people connect with you? Where can people find you?
Well, I mean, if you're interested to see the type of dances I do and stuff, feel free to follow me on Instagram, DJ _ Yawo, YAWO. I post random dance videos all the time, either of me or people that I love watching dance and stuff like that. And you can also follow my SoundCloud, probably the most important one. I usually put mixes.
Nice.
My SoundCloud is GJ Yawo. But you can also find that through my Instagram.
Right.
Right now, I mainly post mixes, but Kizomba, Kizomba related dances, Kizomba, Kompa, Samba, Taracho, Urban Keys, and all of this. But in the future, I'll be posting more stuff. Depend on demand. I'll be posting about Afrobeat mixes, piano, and things that I like dancing. So yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
nice.
about me.
Yeah.
Not
No,
much.
nice, very cool. And I'll put all these links in the description of the video, so everyone you can
Okay.
find. Yeah, all these links in the
Okay.
description of this video. So yeah,
Yeah.
Alphonse, thank you so much. I really appreciate you
Thank you
taking the
too.
time.
Yeah. Hopefully
Yeah,
we cross paths again in the nearest future. Yeah.
for sure, for sure. Let's keep in touch. I really like the things you're doing. The dance, the DJing, also juggling the cybersecurity stuff, and I'm inspired by your journey so far, and I hope to see you, accomplishing great things for sure. So
Thank you.
yeah, let's keep in touch. Thanks again for just taking the time. I know there's a miscommunication in terms of the times and everything, so I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that, but I
Yeah, I mean
still,
that's on me. Yeah.
yeah, I still really
Yeah.
appreciate you just taking the time to just have this conversation with me.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you
Yeah.
very much. It was a pleasure to receive this invite, and all the best. And yeah, keep it up. Keep the good work. Yeah, we all seen it, and we are being inspired. Even though we might not be saying too much, but we are being inspired, and that's what matters. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I appreciate that.
we
I
are
appreciate
impacting
that.
people on the background. So that's good.
Yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching this episode of AlphaDelta. I'm your host Joe Karaoke, and today I'm joined by the guest Yawo Alphonse. So this is goodbye from us.
Thank you.